Hello, kiddies. I've got another fearfully shocking, terror-filled tale of horror for you. This time we'll delve into the rarely explored worlds of greed, jealousy, and murder. So join me, if you dare, in this shocker I respectfully call The Discovery. Dr. Higginbotham, Dr. Mason, and Professor Thompson work together in their independent lab funded for research by the government. Though they are funded separately, their cooperation has led to many gains over the years. However, in recent times, appropriations have dwindled and their success has been waning. Each struggles for a breakthrough when one day Dr. Higginbotham makes a startling discovery. Dr. Mason, come here, I've got it! Dr. Mason enters the lab station of Dr. Higginbotham to hear the latest achievement in his research, which has focused on developing a more efficient rocket fuel formula. You see, Dr. Mason, by isolating the elements of the main reaction and reprocessing the secondary components, I've arrived at this, the new fuel formula I've been seeking. Brilliant, Dr. Higginbotham. This is surely your greatest achievement. Dr. Mason returns to his lab to ponder Dr. Higginbotham's latest work. While Mason has the utmost admiration for Higginbotham, he retains ill feelings toward him due to the impression that in the lean years Higginbotham has focused too much on his own research and has not lent assistance to Mason, as in the early days when all three scientists worked together in a more integrated fashion on all of their projects. Higginbotham doesn't care about my projects. He makes progress in his rocket fuel applications while my dimensional analysis research has ground to a halt. I may be able to make ends meet with the small percentage of interest I have in his work, but now he'll be able to land more lucrative grants and also qualify for that position at the university. Dr. Higginbotham briefs Professor Thompson on his developments, as Thompson prepares to leave the lab to start his 2-week hunting vacation. Well, that's great, Higginbotham. I hope I can make some progress on my project as well. I'm sure you will. You've been working too hard lately. This vacation will do you some good. When you get back, I'm sure you'll work out the details in no time. Professor Thompson departs on his hunting vacation as the sun begins to set. Excited by his breakthrough, Dr. Higginbotham works into the evening to finalize the details of his important discovery. Dr. Mason also remains at the lab, but his thoughts are not upon his own research. The more I think about it, the more I'm convinced I've been taken advantage of by Dr. Higginbotham. That university position should be mine. I'm sick of this unpredictable R&D determining my future. There's only one thing to do. While Dr. Higginbotham continues to work into the late hours, Dr. Mason formulates his own plans. Yes, I've got to do it. With Thompson out of town, I can take care of Higginbotham for good. I gave Higginbotham the right to work today. So if I kill him and dispose of the body quickly, I can put on his overcoat and hat. Then I can call a cab under his name and catch a ride to his apartment building. Then I can walk back here before the lab assistant arrives in the morning. That will give me an alibi of having worked at the lab all night, stating that Dr. Higginbotham took a cab home, which the taxi records will verify, and his disappearance will not be linked to me. Perfect. Dr. Higginbotham continues to work, but is growing weary. Dr. Mason, are you about ready to go? Are you giving me a ride home, or do I need to call a cab? Dr. Mason? Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Professor Thompson returns to the lab to witness the horrifying murder in progress. I can't believe I forgot my journals. Must work out those equations at the cabin. What the? Dr. Mason is startled by the unexpected arrival of Professor Thompson, and having gone this far, immediately lunges towards him as Thompson quickly retreats out the lab door. Dr. Mason rushes out of the doorway of the lab, but Professor Thompson is ready. Professor Thompson rushes into the lab, quickly calls emergency personnel, and then rushes to the side of Dr. Higginbotham, whose life is escaping through the massive head wounds. Hang on, Higginbotham, help is on the way. It is too late. Dr. Higginbotham dies before the ambulance arrives. An inquest is held in which it is determined that Dr. Higginbotham was murdered by Dr. Mason, who in turn was killed by Professor Thompson in an act that was found to be one of justifiable homicide. Professor Thompson continues his work at the lab and finalizes the details of the discovery of Dr. Higginbotham, ensuring that Dr. Higginbotham receives full credit for his work and that the proceeds of his majority share go to his family. With the upcoming holidays, Professor Thompson provides presents for the children of Dr. Higginbotham to assist the struggling widow following the loss of her husband. Sometime later, something stirs in the cemetery where Dr. Higginbotham is buried. The hard, frozen ground gives way and crumbles as the decayed corpse lifts itself from the forming hole. The thing makes its way into the night, towards the lab. The walking corpse of Dr. Higginbotham enters the laboratory where Professor Thompson is working late. Good Lord! Professor Thompson hesitates, then tries to withdraw into an adjoining room, but the thing moves and intercepts him. Ah! The next morning, several police cars surround the lab building. Inside, the detectives survey the crime scene with a look of horror and disgust. In 10 years on the force, this is the worst I've seen. What's that writing on the wall? Is that the murderer's idea of a sick joke? The police look upon the wall where there is a dripping message drawn in blood above the mutilated body of Professor Thompson. That's right, the corpse of Dr. Higginbotham came back to pay Professor Thompson a visit. Only the strongest emotions can cause the dead to rise from their graves, usually murderous revenge, or in this case, gratitude. But alas for poor Professor Thompson, the range of expression for the walking dead is rather limited.